we're going to move over from New York now to Philly, staying in the Northeast region, moving over from the AFC East over to the NFC least. And we're going to be talking about the Eagles. And I'm going to read you guys a quote. When asked on a local radio station in Philly, 94 WIP, the offensive coordinator for the Eagles, Frank Reich, had this to say when he was asked about if Bradford's the clear number one. He says, and I quote, "No, that's probably not the right impression. You've got to establish is a culture of competition. This is one of the most competitive industries in the world. And so to say there's no competition, that's just the furthest thing from the truth." End quote. I'm going to hit you with the raw question, Mark. Should Carson Wentz, or not should Carson Wentz start week one, will Carson Wentz start week one for the Eagles?
I don't think that he will. I'm not convinced that he will.
Should he, though, against the Browns?
No, he definitely shouldn't.
They got a fucking easy first game, though. I mean, if any, like we were talking about, oh, you don't want Christian Hackenberg to start week 5 because he's got to go up against the Steelers. The team you would want your rookie, especially second overall, to go against is the Browns, right? At home against the Browns.
Yeah, that would be nice to go against the Browns. That is nice. Although RG3 is looking to have a little bit of bounce back, he's going to make that tough.
Also, you throw Wentz against the Browns, you beat the Browns, you show from the beginning of the season, fuck you, we won the trade.
But winning week 1 doesn't do much for you.
It's winning the battle, not the war.
You're then going to play the Chicago Bears with an improving defense led by Vic Fangio. You're then going to play the Steelers, who have a really good defense.
Good luck.
You can beat the Lions. The Redskins are a good team. It's also a division. It's tough.
You
got to play the Vikings. You got to play the Cowboys. You got to play an improving Giants, who spent a lot of money on defense. Falcons, meh. You got to play the Seahawks.
Stop right there. Look at the first 8 games of the season. Where are most of them played?
They're all away.
They're all away except for 3 of them. Cleveland week 1, Pittsburgh week 3, and Minnesota week 7.
And 2 of those home games are going to be really tough.
The Steelers and the Vikings are going to be really tough.
The Steelers and the Browns, exactly, Ricky. Steelers and the Browns.
But like you start that schedule very road heavy. I mean, there's a part of me that says, okay, I get what you're trying to say, that, oh, you're going to have an open competition. But part of me also goes, Sam Bradford's got to be the guy, right?
He has to be.
If not Sam Bradford, the guy who everybody was like, oh, well, they picked him up because he's got a relationship with Doug Peterson and Chase Daniels. It's got to be one of those 2 guys, right?
I feel like you can't let Carson Wentz start, because let's remember who Carson Wentz is. He is a FCS.
The next Andy Dalton.
Well, yeah, sure. Because
the next Red Rocket. Yeah.
He is an FCS quarterback. And there are some great quarterbacks from not FBS schools.
Or, as Sean would say, professional clipboard holder.
Yes,
got to throw that in there for Sean.
I always like to refer to the FCS as the fake college schools. But he has every potential to be good in the NFL. There are plenty of quarterbacks that did not start in the FBS and did fine. They did just fine.
Joe Flacco,
of course, Tony Romo. Even your favorite, Ricky, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Exactly.
Got to say the name right, man.
Because he's going to start 4 games this year, and he's probably going to win all of them.
Dude, 4-0 to start, baby.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, Carson Wentz can do fine. It's just, this is not the time to do it. Just don't do it now. Let him have that time to learn. Let him get up to speed. Yes, I said it just in the last segment. Russell Wilson did it. Cam Newton did it. RG3 did it. Andrew Luck did it. These guys came in. They did great.
The Simpsons did it.
Actually, you know what? If anything, with Mariota and
famous Jameis.
Yeah, exactly. Jameis Winston, they looked good too. All signs are pointing, throw the rookie in. They'll be fine. But let's all remember the glory days of guys like Christian Ponder, guys like Gabbert. Guys like Bortles now.
Can we not bring up Christian Ponder?
Exactly. These guys who got thrown in early.
Unless you're going to talk about Samantha Ponder. Then it's okay.
Guys who got thrown in early and just
didn't do so good.
They
did
just
not
failed.
do so good. But I'm kind of torn about this, because do I think Carson Wentz is going to be a good quarterback in the NFL? Yes, or at least I'm hoping he is, because I really like the guy. I really like what he brings to an NFL team. However, you've got Chase Daniel, I'm not really sold on. I just feel like, if I had to pick between Bradford and Daniel, I would pick Bradford. But
For sure. I mean, you're paying Bradford. So
however, I would pick Chase over Carson at this point. Like, why not? Like, you don't have, if it was Carson Wentz or Geno Smith, like we talked about in the last segment, I'm picking Carson all day. But you have a guy like Sam Bradford on your team, which is better than what the Jets have in Geno Smith.
Yeah, you got to play the long game here. You're not a team like the Jets that's one player away. So where you're saying, sure, just plug the rookie in and let's hope for the best. That's not the scenario you're going for right here. You got to play a little bit of a longer game here. It's just, like I said, Philadelphia Eagles are not in that position to where they are one game away. Let Carson Wentz sit. Let him develop. The other thing I want to say about this is just, I honestly, part of me feels like this is a little bad blood from them and Sam Bradford just saying, oh, Sam, all right, we said that you were good. We gave you this money. You felt like it was good. You know what? No, it's an open competition.
Here's the thing, though.
Shouldn't have held out.
They didn't give him the money Chip Kelly did. Wasn't he signed before Peterson came in?
I
mean, the owner
owner
could have said no in the beginning, so really it's the owner that gave him the money.
Yeah, but Chip Kelly had a lot of personnel control. So, sure, I mean, they could have done that, but they could have tried to trade him. They could have done a lot of things. They could have cut him if they really didn't want him. But he's getting this money. It's just one of those things that you're invested in from the previous organization. Just the way it is, let the guy do it. He's coming here saying, I want to be traded. And this organization now is saying, okay, now you got to compete for your job.
I still think Bradford can beat the rookie out for the job.
He should. I mean, he is an NFL veteran for a while. This is a guy who was not even seeing the kind of talent that Bradford saw in Oklahoma.
Unless the rookie is as good as Tom Brady, but I don't think that's possible for Carson Wentz. Do you think it's a good idea for the offensive coordinator of the Eagles to come out and say, would you rather put yourself into Eagles fan shoes? Put yourself in EDP shoes. Now, those are big shoes to fill, but here's what you got to think. If you're an Eagles fan, would you rather have your offensive coordinator saying, no, this is the guy, or would you rather him saying, no, there's a competition?
I always like the idea of a competition, but here's my thought. The competition is between Sam Bradford and Chase Daniels. Carson Wentz is sitting this year. He's going to sit and he's going to learn. He's getting redshirted.
I don't think you can do that, though. Wentz you could say in the back of your head that, okay, Wentz is not going to win, but Wentz has to be a part of the competition because it would be different if the Eagles were there at 2 and took Wentz. They could say, well, this wasn't our master plan.
Well, that's why the trade was a bad trade.
When you go ahead to trade up for that, you have lost all power to say, no, he's not part of the competition.
Well, that's exactly what the Andrew Luck situation is. They kept saying with Peyton Manning, you don't pick a quarterback number 1 overall. I know this was number 2, but number 1 overall and have him sit. If you pick a quarterback that high, he starts. That's the way it is. That's why drafting a quarterback like Carson Wentz, he could have a great future, but right now he's not going to have it. He needs to have that time to develop Aaron Rodgers style. He needs to have that type of moment here. That's why you don't draft a guy like that so early, I would say.
Are you saying that Sam Bradford is as great as Brett Favre? Is that what I heard?
I might be saying that. I might be saying that right now. But yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. I would love them to say Carson Wentz is the quarterback of the future, not the quarterback of right now.
And just to clear up, because I thought I heard you say that Andrew Luck was number 2. He was actually number 1.
No, I said this is number 2. Carson Wentz is number 2.
Okay, I thought you were talking about...
I might have misspoke, but that's what I meant.
I thought you were talking about Andrew Luck, and for a second I was like, RG3 didn't go above him. He went right after him in another stupid trade for another 2 quarterback. However, you could then sit there and say, well, wait, RG3 was the second quarterback taken by a team that traded up to give him that is now seen as a dumb trade, and he had one of the best rookie seasons ever. So just give Wentz the job,
and then
just give him the job.
Then he'll get the skanky leg. He'll get the stanky leg.
The stanky leg.
Exactly.
Oh, that was a bad injury. It was a really bad. I don't think
it ruined his career.
I think Wentz. It would not happen to Wentz because he's a sturdier build. Like I look at him, and when he runs, it kind of looks like a Big Ben type of runner where. He's using
Big Ben gets hurt
body.
a lot now.
Yeah, I'm not saying he doesn't.
He's not
get
as
hurt,
sturdy as he used to be.
But I mean, early, it's kind of like rookie Big Ben. That's what I see. Is he kind of uses his body to run with it. But with the Eagles, before we move on to our defensive rookie of the year talk, I'm putting you looking into your crystal ball, Mark.
Yep.
Will Carson Wentz start week 1 for the Eagles?
Week 1, no. Will he start this season? Yes.
I'm going to be bold. I'm going to say in Cleveland, Carson Wentz starts, because here's what the Eagles are going to think. Is it going to be the smart thing to do? No. But here's what they're going to be thinking. He's done enough to win the job. We're playing Cleveland. We want to show these fans we won the trade. We want to show Cleveland that we won the trade. He's going to start against RG3 and the Browns week 1 for the Philadelphia Eagles, because on top of it, they're going to want to give the old FU to Sam Bradford for doing his holdout. Then Wentz might lose the job, and it would be the stupidest thing for the Eagles to do. But hey, what? I can honestly believe that'll happen because of the stupid moves that the Eagles make year after year after year.
As soon as you start the kid, he's your starter for the rest of the year.
He's your starter for the rest of the year.
You start him week 1, he's there all year.
But I'm just saying I could see the Eagles doing that because of how stupid they are.
I just see it like a Blake Bortles situation. Blake Bortles isn't that good at first, and he starts to develop.
And you build a team around him, because Jacksonville's built a pretty damn good team. If they could just stay healthy, that's a different story.
Exactly. That's kind of the way the Philadelphia Eagles need to view it. I don't think you need to start the quarterback in that situation. You could do it more Aaron Rodgers style, let him sit and develop. He's not going to have the time to develop quite like Aaron Rodgers did. But, even if he gets 8 games in before he has to start, that's better than starting in week 1 and setting him up to fail, even if he does win week 1, to then have to go against some incredibly talented teams like the Chicago Bears, who are going to go 16-0 this year. That's just setting the guy up to fail.
Well, yeah, it's like Bill Schwartzky said on the draft grade for the Bears: Super Bowl, Super Bears.
Exactly. If you're gonna start the rookie against the Chicago Bears, his season's doomed. His career is doomed from there.
How many sacks does Leonard Floyd get against him?
20.
20. He sets the NFL record for sacks in a game.
Yeah.
And you know what?
He crushes the record.
He'll just set the season record for sacks. What is that? Week 3 you guys play him? Week 2. Week 2, he'll set that record in that one game for the entire season.
He'll be done
against Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
It'll be the greatest game and the greatest season in a pass rusher's history, and it'll all be against Carson Wentz.
And from there, he'll just hang out on Lake Shore right there, just pull up his beach chair, relax for the rest of the season.
Yeah, he's got nothing else to do because he doesn't want to run away with it now. He wants other people to feel like they could break it.
He wants to make it fair for the other players.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be fair, but we're gonna end this segment with the Philadelphia Eagles. Let us know down below in the comment section, what do you guys think? Who's gonna start week 1? Should it be a competition? Should Wentz have the job because he's the 2nd overall pick in the draft?